This week we are transforming this set of outdated French provincial nightstands. They are actually already purchased and we're custom painting them. When a set like this is in great shape, it's actually quite easy to paint and flip them because there's very little work to do, and we do get to keep the hardware. In general, I never change the hardware out on French provincials, and there's no holes to fill and so forth. So these guys are actually in really good shape, which is why we selected them. There's a little bit of something happened there to that drawer, and someone had used a marker to fill it in, but we'll fix that. Probably the most important step in furniture painting is cleaning. You really want to remove all of the dirt, grime, and oils that have built up over time, and you'll see exactly why that's important, because I have missed a spot in this cleaning process and I'll show you exactly what happens. But I'm using this Green Ease cleaner. I dilute it in water. You can also use it full strength, and at that point it acts a bit more like a stripper. But when you dilute it with water, it's perfect for cleaning. So scrub, scrub, scrub. After you finish cleaning your piece, you want to leave it to dry. You don't want to start sanding while it's still wet. And for these, I started using my sander, but knowing from prior experience that the veneer on top of this particular set is quite thin, I opted out to go ahead and do everything by hand. I wanted to make sure that I didn't blow through the veneer, and I know underneath it's particle board, especially on the top, that can swell up when being painted. So I just went ahead and gave everything a light scuff sand with 220 grit sandpaper. Following that, I gave everything a good wipe so that I can start priming. For this set of nightstands, I'm using all Wise Owl products that you can find on my website, Dove+Arrow.com. I do ship to Canada and the US, and I have left a little coupon code in the description that you can use towards your first purchase. For the base of these, I am using the Wise Owl Stain Eliminating Primer in gray. I am painting the nightstands white, and ultimately I should be using the white primer. However, I have this can of primer open, and to be honest, I didn't want to open another can, and I'm just using this. You would have seen this can of primer actually in my last few videos, so a can of this product does go a long way. I really like this primer because it is water-based and it's easy for me to actually clean out my brush after using. I am using it here with a roller to just get the coverage I need. I only applied one coat and it goes on rather quickly and easily. I started with the nightstands upside down so that I can get into all the nooks and crannies and hard to reach areas, especially under the legs. It's always hard for me to paint in that there, so I thought the best way would be to start with them upside down. You get it covered and you can move on. The Wise Owl primer is actually really amazing to add adhesion. It dries really flat and matte, and you can really tell that it has adhered really well. You really literally cannot scratch it off. And also being water-based, it's great to use inside. I am going to be applying the 1 hour enamel in the color Snow Owl, which is a perfect white. The paint will also dry to a nice satin coat, and it will not require a top coat. Because I cannot spray right now, I really do like to spray all of my finishes. I am opting to use the 1 hour enamel with a roller. The Staalmeester rollers are perfect for this. I can get a flawless finish without having to use my spray gun in the cold. I'm also using the Staalmeester spalter brush to get into the nooks and crannies and around the edge. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said I didn't clean up the piece well. There has been something there, and it's coming through the paint and the primer. I know the primer is not at fault for not blocking it because I can literally chip it off. So it's telling me that it's refusing, the primer's not adhering to it and the paint's not covering it. So what I did was I completely sanded the area, make sure that it was removed, and then I cleaned the area really well again. After which I applied the primer, let it cure overnight, and then I painted. Now for the hardware. So I applied about 3 or 4 coats of the paint because the white does need a little bit more for full coverage. I spray painted the hardware in this gilded bronze color just to give them a little bit of a refresh, and then it was time to just put them back on. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope you learned a little something. I'd love to hear your feedback. Do you paint French provincial pieces? Are they popular in your area? What colors do you paint them? Please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, as well as please consider liking and subscribing this video. It really does help this channel, and I'd love to bring you more content like this. And here's a little look back at what the nightstands looked like before. They were in great shape, just needed a facelift. We painted them with Wise Owl 1 hour enamel and Snow Owl, and they look amazing. They're ready for delivery. See you next week.